Thanks for staying with us. Welcome back as we take you through the national dailies this morning. Quickly, we'll go through the headlines and we'll come back to analyze some of the major issues. The Nation newspaper will be our first. As we see right here, special forces deployed to battle terrorists in Benue. A sad incident has occurred in Benue State, and we will talk about that in a minute. The same also on the Guardian newspaper. Pope cries terrible massacre in Benue as Tinubu rallies security chiefs. Really, really sad right there. And the Abuja inquiry is also talking about the same thing as well. 200 killed. Protest rocks Benue State. And very quickly to the Nigerian News Direct. Same thing as well right here. This is genocide. We are no longer safe in our homes. The youths of the state is crying out. And quickly to the Blueprint newspaper. Something a little bit different this time around on fuel distribution. We see Dangote Refinery begins nationwide PMS diesel distribution August 15. That sounds like some, really nice story right there. And the Leadership newspaper is shifting a little bit of an attention, even though that is also there, but to Benue, Tinubu orders security chiefs to restore peace as IGP visits today. All right, that's a pretty good, fast move right there. The Daily Independent will be the next as we look at something else. Alternative energy revolution may cut discos and market shares. All right, Nigerian Tribune is the next one we would be looking at this morning. Don't I just love the energy? Well, the Abuja commissioning project is still taking the front page right here. But also we see intrigues, power play as Northeast stakeholders endorse Tinubu Shetima for 2027. That is absolutely really around the corner, at least from what we're seeing almost every other day on the newspaper. Benue is up again on this Nigeria. 59 killed, says earlier the governor, as Tinubu orders security clamp down. And quickly, the Hope newspaper we'll be looking at next right here. And on the Hope, we see Ondo 2027. I'll give maximum support to Tinubu's re-election. Ayeda Atewa, the governor of the state, he said that is what he's going to do. And the Platform Times is our next. Trump lists Nigeria, 35 other countries in proposed U.S. travel ban expansion. Thinking that would be reducing that list by now. And the Sporting Life is our next and final paper where we'll look at the headlines already. And today, Vero is going to be smiling with me because my guy is up on there. Osimhen is there, baby. Real Madrid, PSG, 6 others chase Osimhen. We will tell you what that chase is really all about. But, ladies and gentlemen, Etoba, Veronica, and Olamide, the Nation newspaper this morning, a sad incident in Benue State. Etoba, why are we still having this going on?
At times, I just sit down and wonder, say, what is in Benue State? What are they looking for in Benue State? What is it about Benue State that's threatening the people that are attacking that state? And what is the governor doing? In a state, the governor is the chief security officer. He gets security briefs every morning, especially when the state is in security crisis like Benue State is. So I keep asking myself, what is it in Benue State that they want? What is strategic about that state? The spate of killing is so annoying, but thank God the IG finally has visited Benue State, and Mr. President has made a categorical statement and an order, for Benue State to be in the front burner when it comes to security issues. I hope they can nip this thing at the bud. The people are dying too many. 57 by Mr. Governor, and other sources are saying over 200. People, it's people we are talking about. People, human beings that are being killed as if it's for free.
Yeah.
It's really annoying, and I hope that this time they will settle that thing once and for all and find out why Benue State.
Vero, should this not expedite the conversation of state police if we are averse to the nomenclature of any other kind of local security? Then maybe some states should begin to have decisively men on ground to handle such matters.
I like the word you use, decisively, but how many of the state governors are willing to be decisive at addressing the security challenges in their state? How many of them are ready to take up that responsibility, what it would take to addressing the matter you're talking about, financing and every other issues regarding it? And a lot of people are concerned about the fact that these same governors could use them as a tool during elections against their rivals, political rivals, but that's not the issue. We're talking about what the Constitution says, that the government is supposed to address matters of security of lives and people, properties and everything. They are the ones that are supposed to take up that responsibility. But what do we see happening? The governor hasn't gone to see these people. He sent his deputy and he was chased by the angry youth. They said they want to hear the governor speak with them.
Who is their leader?
To speak with them. Sometimes it's important that we speak to these people, that these people just want to hear you speak with them. They want you to show empathy, that you are with them in their situation. We've heard of killings in Agatu. We've seen the situations that have been going on across Benue State. This is not the first time. And these people are feeling like if we do not rise up, they will kill them. And that's why we're seeing what we are seeing happening in Benue State. The governor have been told to declare a state of emergency. Will that happen? I do not know, but it is important that something is done as quickly as possible. We know that Benue State is the food basket of the nation. Now, farmers cannot go to farm, and then we're seeing an increase in the prices of goods like food, being one of the major issues facing our inflation rate. Food inflation is at its highest as we speak, all because of some of these things that we are faced with.
Olamide, News Direct and the Abuja Inquirer are all saying the same thing as well. So I want to take you on the issue of protest. Each time a matter like this happens, you know, we protest about it, and then, you know, it seems like, all right, everybody goes to sleep until maybe another one happens. When do we come to an end with all these kind of matters?
I think that the protesting is expected. People are grieving, people are requiring empathy and support and real-time response plans from their government, not just condolences. And so, of course, they're coming out to talk. And the way that we handle grieving communities matters. I mean, we saw some reports that these youth protesters were being tear-gassed. That is absolutely unacceptable. You are dealing with a community that is in grief. And I think a lot of times we can hear in the press, and even just the way that the government handles responding to these killings can really change the way that we do protest. There's a lot of reportage saying that these are clashes. I don't believe that these are clashes. These are targeted killings. These citizens are not going out to fight these herdsmen, to fight these. These are targeted killings. We can't keep calling them clashes. And I think that we really need to, we cannot displace the role of empathy in politics. It's important that people know that you are with them as a government in hard times like this. It's important that condolences are sent. And so those condolences they're sort of like a salve before you put in a real-time response plan. I think it's clear that we need to make rural security a priority. It's almost as if Abuja goes to sleep, and while they're asleep, whole communities are wiped out. We heard that the Commissioner of Police, or the Deputy Commissioner of Police, came, and I heard and I saw from reporting that he was heavily security outfitted. These people are watching you walking with 20, 30 policemen that should have been on ground in Benue, a hotspot of killings. They're watching you walking in with this police that should have been on ground protecting them. Of course, the optics are not great. Of course, people are feeling very inflammatory right now. Sorry, I got a bit heated there.
I wish we had more time.
It's understandable.
Of course. We're talking lives of people here.
People have relatives.
Exactly.
Even if we do not, we can feel the impact, whether we like, because we're talking about it.
That's right.
Every day.
That's right. That's right. And I look forward, Veronica, to a time where no newspaper on this table will have a conversation around security with the loss of human lives. I look forward to that kind of a day.
Oh,
We all do.
We all do,
We
man.
all do.
We all do.
Well, the Blueprint newspaper will be our next as we look at the conversation at Toma on Dangote's planned fuel distribution, according to the paper, for free.
It will cut the middlemen, and that will affect the price of his product per liter. It definitely will bring it down. Most of the businesses that happen, especially distribution of products in Nigeria, the products get to the end user at a high price because of the activity of middlemen. So if Dangote is going to do the distribution for free using Dangote trucks, that effectively cuts off the middlemen, and Dangote petrol will go down in price.
Indeed. Veronica, I wish we could also stay on that, because the leadership newspaper boldly is talking about that again. I'm really concerned about that phrase, for free. Maybe we should also go into some...
There's no free lunch anywhere. There's no free lunch anywhere. But it is good that he's taking up all of this initiative to deepen access to petroleum products as it is. But at the end of the day, the monopoly that a lot of persons are concerned about might just be where we are headed. Now, this is me just speaking. This is me just speaking. No, nobody said anything. It's me that's just speaking, so I'm taking responsibility.
Not as a broker.
But there is a concern. There is a concern about monopoly. But then if he's ensuring that people gain access to what they need, it's fine.
And on the Daily Independent, we see alternative energy revolution may cut discos and market share. Talking about monopoly and middlemen, the tariff that I pay is pretty heavy. Vera, I remember on this table, you and I were Ban A. You and I were talking about that. It's not just neck breaking.
It's back breaking. It is, and so everyone is looking for every alternative.
Exactly.
And so, of course, because if we are paying so much and we are not getting the relative service and supply, then why are we paying so much? That's the question a lot of Nigerians are asking.
Right.
We know how critical electricity is to our businesses, to our lives. But if you are not ensuring that your services are as efficient as much as we pay, then there is a problem. I'll find an alternative.
Well, I couldn't agree less with that. But Olamide, what band are you? Electricity, ABC.
Olamide is in band Z.
I mean, whatever band my parents are.
So she's not feeling the heat.
I can't relate. Thank you,
Nelson,
Mom. Thank you, Dad.
Nelson, before you go on,
please.
There's nothing. Electricity first is a major catalyst for business development, especially for small and medium-scale businesses.
That's right.
And for that kind of a very important resource to be tied down in monopoly is dangerous for the country. So for this to happen, yes, I think electricity has been deregulated, isn't it? Yes, that's why we are having alternative. We need competition in that sector, and that is what is happening now. All these things at the end of the day.
States are actually supposed to take responsibility at some point to handle some generation of electricity and all of it. We know Lagos State does to an extent, but again, how many of the states are ready to take responsibility for some of these things? That's why the matter of true federalism have been on the board, something that people have been talking about for quite a while now, so that some of the states can handle some of these things. But here we are.
You know something, a pattern that I've noticed
Please.
is this constant politicizing of the basic amenities. Just now we spoke about that the road project, the commissioning of the road in River State, transportation. Now we're talking about electricity. We're about to discuss the water project. This politicizing of the basic amenities does my head in.
It's unfortunate.
It does my head in.
It is very unfortunate, but this is Nigeria. Right.
Couldn't have said it better.
You should understand.
Nelson said, remember where you are.
Wake up first.
You're talking about London and all of that. No. This is Nigeria. But you know, this Nigeria newspaper, by the way, is saying the same thing as well as the killing in Benue State and a few other conversations. So I'd like us to run quickly to the Hope newspaper, which is taking us a little bit into politics right here, Olamide. And, you know, we see the governor of Ondo State saying he will give his maximum support to the re-election of Tinubu. Of course, I expected that.
I don't want to use that phrase, but we know I don't know if I'm allowed to use that phrase on air. He's a godfather, you know. You can't use that phrase on air, but for lack of a better phrase, you know, where politics is always offering your maximum support. It's always offering your maximum support and making friends where you need to make friends and endorsements when necessary.
Where necessary.
And
we've seen this before.
With the movement of politicians from one party into the APC seems to be the net, you know, the goal. Everybody just comes from here to here, right? Everybody's supporting Tinubu as it is right now.
Oh yes, everybody should support Tinubu as it is right now.
Oh,
because
shoot.
Let me explain.
Please.
Let me explain. What did he do? What did APC do that is making everybody move into APC? Now, if all the political bigwigs are in APC, what do you expect at the end of the day during election? Everybody will want to support Mr. President, because as more people go into APC, he gets politically stronger, you know? So everybody will endorse Mr. President. It's good politics for him,
right?
But not very good politics for the people that are holding the short end of the stick.
And Veronica, talking about everybody supporting the president, at the top nameplate of the hope right there, Wike leads 3 former PDP governors to Tinubu.
Wike never hid where he told you his support has been. I don't know why you are surprised. He never hid where his support was.
Nice,
yes, he is with the opposition, the PDP, yet he says this is who he would support, and he will do so with his full chest.
Right.
Wike is who he says he is. Let's stop, you know, just talking about his matters over and over
But
again.
you know, funny, I don't know why, you know, like you're trying to say as well, that is a surprise for us in Nigeria. We've seen that happen in the US. People from Republican Party,
we have our peculiarities as a country,
or the
right?
Independent Party, decide to support either an Obama, as a case was, or a Kamala Harris, as it just happened. It didn't matter about party lines. At the end of the day, it's about who is going to help us.
At the end of the day, can this person deliver? You can see the number of projects this person, the Minister of the FCT, has been delivering on in recent times. For the FCT, it is about the fact that you can deliver on your job. But because of our peculiarities, we believe that if the government in power is not this, then any other person cannot support them. But we saw how even the president, in his appointments of persons, he brought in people from other political parties. And that wasn't a problem. The people who he called in did not say, we do not want to do the job. It is that they accepted the portfolio and they decided to be doing their job. So Wike is doing what he is expected to do, and he's doing it without any apologies to anyone. Yeah. So,
and let me take you across shores now to the US.
No, don't take me across shores. I don't want to go.
You don't want to go?
You love Nigeria.
I like it here.
Okay. And that's on the Platform Times, where we see Trump lists Nigeria and 35 other countries in proposed U.S. travel ban.
So how do you intend to take her there?
How do you intend to
Let's go and talk to President Trump.
Let us say cross rivers.
They've tarred road for me, so I can walk down.
This is not the first time that we're having these sort of whispers or rumors of us being banned. I think that the international narrative that we have, and unfortunately the stigma that surrounds Nigeria, doesn't give us a very good reputation. And so when the president thinks of ways to safeguard his security and his borders, unfortunately Nigerians will unfortunately come to mind because we are everywhere. So I hope that this doesn't actually come into policy and doesn't take place as a rooted policy that we're banned, because we like America.
Yeah, indeed we do. Very quickly, Etoma, just a point, you know, she raised. I understand that sometimes some Nigerians, 1 in a million, you know, does one bad, shady online thing that brings a little dent on our country. But please, the entire world knows that Nigerians were wonderful people.
It's not a small, shady thing. The other day, I took a story about a woman who defrauded the American
I remember, it's part of the shady
almost
I'm talking
$1 billion.
about.
It's not a small, shady thing. It's
fraud.
It
is 1 out of too many of us who are doing absolutely well all over the world.
And we also had a story about Indonesians taking Nigerian names to do all these things. The problem with Nigeria is that we celebrate all these things too much. We make it so loud. We are the ones that are spoiling our country's image image for our country.
That's it.
You know, we're exposing ourselves too much, and it's not healthy at all.
And Veronica, the Sporting Life would be our last paper this morning. Boy, I love, you know, what's been going on since we started. Real Madrid, PSG, 6 others chase Osimhen. Man United, AC Milan out of race to sign Nigerian. Osimhen continues to be the hot boy on the plate.
Absolutely, but he is coming out to say that you people should give him some time. He needs to take some time to really think about his next move because it's critical to his career. He has built his career over time.
That's right.
And he is one valuable player that every of these teams want to have. Man U is saying, we want you, we are ready to pay as much as possible, and they are looking at he might be even the highest signing they have had from Nigeria. So it is critical that he takes his time to make the right decision, even as much as everybody wants him to be his wife, their wife, as it is. So take your time to decide who your husband should be.
Indeed. Well, we'll wait to see exactly what Osimhen's decision will be. But I have to thank you both of trial for doing wonderful justice to the conversation this morning. Coming up on TVC Breakfast, federal government intensifies clampdown against illegal refineries to strengthen economic stability. Join us after the break